Everyone online says you need to scale with a course. And I say, sell the damn service. I'm Emily Williams, award-winning consultant and Productize offer expert since 2014. And I'm here to help you work less, make more, and stop custom building your burnout. Each week, we talk strategy, structure, and the real stories behind sustainable service businesses. You know, from service providers who like doing service work, who want to stay in service work, but also just make more money. If you're ready for all that yapping, then let's dive in. You have a warm, fuzzy animal at your butt and your back. And when I came into the studio, I caught you talking to your cat, and now the whole world knows.
Now the entire world knows. Admittedly, I have posted Instagram stories, so a small section of the world knew previously.
Yeah.
A small section of the world knew previously that my office chair, it's cute that I call it my office chair, because it's not my office chair.
It's not yours.
It's not mine. And
No.
it belongs to any Game of Thrones fans. Arya, a girl who has no name, who is named such because she only has vision in one eye.
Sweet baby.
Mm-hmm.
I love this.
Yeah. So do I go to the vet and say, "What's your cat's name?" A girl has no name.
A girl has no name.
And then they stare at me and don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, "It's her name's Arya." Sorry.
All right, fine.
Arya.
Sorry. You aren't a nerd also. Wow.
But sometimes, actually, there is one person. There is one tech at my vet. There's one tech at my vet who is like, "Wait, Arya?" And I was like, "Yes."
Yes.
So it has worked one time.
You need to just carry around a buzzer for everyone who gets it wrong, and then a dinger for the one person who gets it right. So you can, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I love this. I love this. Yeah. I was saying yesterday I was on a call and Pepper came down, and he's a good boy, truly 99% of the time.
Okay.
And there's this random 1% where he gets a hair in his butt, and I think he just like, because my office is in the basement, so there's no birds, there's no bugs, there's nothing.
There's no impetus for him to be down.
There's no impetus for him to do anything. And he came
Right.
down, and behind me is like this big cube shelf with my lighting on it. And he got up on my desk and was doing I can tell he's about to jump up onto that bookshelf, but it would knock over so many things. So I was like, sir, you've never done this in your life. What are you doing? So I had to pull him off. Then he started climbing the stair railing in the middle of a meeting. And I'm like, what are you literally doing right now?
I will say, during a meeting yesterday, one of her favorites. So when I do not sit appropriately in my chair.
Right.
Sorry, excuse me. When I do not sit appropriately in her chair.
Right.
She eats paper. So I cannot, important documents must be filed immediately. She will eat them. And she will find the most inconvenient to replace.
Her
skill
a check
match. Skill. No. Passport requiring document. Homegirl's talented. She's talented. But she started now gathering. She will take, I normally have flowers on my desk. She yesterday jumped up. She gave me roughly 1.7 seconds. She meowed. And I was in the middle of a conversation. So I looked down at her. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll sit forward in a minute. She jumped up on the side of the chair, came up here, took a piece of the floral arrangement and ran.
Yep. She's like, well, you didn't move fast enough, so I'm going to this is mine now.
And so she took it and destroyed it.
I love it. Cats are so wild. Anyone who's listening who knows that I have never been a cat lady until I gave birth to my biological son, Pepper, who's a black and white cat, 3 years ago. And so my life was completely changed when the sewer cat claimed me as his mother.
As they do, the universal cat adoption system.
100%. Yeah. And another one is trying. That it's like the sewer just spits out one cat every 3 years.
Well, you know the concept of the universal cat adoption system.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
they trying again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not for me, thank you. I have one, I'm good.
And it's like, well, sorry, you came up in the lottery, so actually it is for you.
But I'm just like, if I take that one in 3 years, you're going to send me another one. I can't keep doing this.
Well, I'm like 20 years in, so
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
may God save your soul.
We're still new. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
I've
Um,
been playing it for a long time. Let's
you,
talk business.
well, you are my first repeat guest ever. And for very special reasons,
Be still my heart.
and my show's not even a year old and I'm
I
already
know.
repeating guest. What have we come to? But
But there's strategery,
there's strategery
hella
involved
strategery.
all the time for real. I'm very, very excited to not just get to yap today again and have this conversation, but talk about the improved coolness of what's coming to sold out services. And I want to preface this with, when you all are able to dig into your authority, establish that positioning, and establish the signature container, and then productize it so you can increase your capacity. All of the things that I teach you how to do inside of sold out services, when you get to do that, your decision fatigue and your I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that completely goes away. Like, ask me how I know. And instead, your brain gets to focus on one track and one track only. And it's how can I improve the results and the experience of my existing clients? I already know how people are going to get inside. I already know what result they're going to get. How can I make it even better? And I am so proud of past self me. I'm so excited. This is my favorite part of getting to say, okay, amazing. Here's all the work that we already got to do. Imagine if we made it better. Imagine if we expanded, if we went deeper here. So I was inspired by my friend, Ashley Rose, who's systems over stress, Airtable, girly pop. And one of her kind of philosophies that she's been doing for a while now, she has a YouTube channel playlist specifically dedicated around this. I think it's called something like Ashley Stays in Her Lane or something like that. And it was her cure for creating all the offers for all the people and all the things that she could be doing. And instead, she stayed in her lane. Airtable, Client Hub, Airtable system, right? So she interviews people who do YouTube strategy or email marketing strategy or productization. Your girl is on her playlist, right? And so she gets to have friends and experts and other people in the authority get to come on and bring value to her audience because she knows they need it. And while she probably has a thing or 12 to say about some of those topics, she does not need to own that lane, right? So in that same vein, I was looking at SOS and the pillars of productizations that we install. There are 7 of them, by the way, if you're not familiar. And the 6th pillar is called reintroducing your productized offer. And what that means, and I would love to hear in your experience too, because I know your business has shaped and evolved over the years as well. When
Mhm.
you are first getting started and you're landing your first couple of clients and then your next couple of clients, and you're kind of building a rhythm, those all tend to come from referrals and your own personal tight network. Like you're like 1 degree away from every client that you work with in your first couple of years. And then if you stay in services and if you productize and if you increase your capacity, you will be able to serve 2, 3, 4, 5 times the amount of clients that you have previously been able to serve. But you look at that and you say, okay, well, my referrals can't send me 5 times the amount of clients. What do I
Mhm.
do? And that's where we start the conversation of what does it mean to be visible as a one-on-one, done for you service provider? So that's what we're talking about today. And I'm bringing Chelsea on to help have this conversation because she is contributing an incredible bonus for this March sold out services launch. Every single person who enrolls in sold out services between March 12th and March 19th of 2026 gets this bonus. Every single person. Are we crazy? Probably. Is it going to be
Probably.
fun? Yeah, it is.
We're gonna have the best time.
We're going to have the best time and I can't wait. So, before we kind of like you guys are going to hear all the nitty gritty, but talk to me about your experience with referrals and networking and then realizing maybe, oh shit, do I actually need to show up in some places?
So, I I'm so thrilled that the way that you framed this could not possibly be more perfect, of course. Because what you're saying about your first clients are going to be referrals. That is exactly the guidance I got from my first ever business coaches, who are still people who I love to this day. And I am the anomaly, y'all. I'm the anomaly. My first clients didn't live in the same state as me. It came to me through Instagram, and I was really, really bad. I'm still really bad at Instagram marketing. I'm exceedingly, exceedingly bad at it. This was a decade ago, so there was a lot more. It was a lot more forgiving than it is today.
Yeah.
But I feel like so much of the expertise I've come to has been through living a kind of anomaly experience where my first 2-3 clients actually were strangers from the internet.
That's bananas to me.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And I because I recognized how insane that was, based on, thank goodness for all the mentorship I had, based on that, I, from the get-go a decade ago, was really curious about, like, what other than kismet, fate, random, whatever, what can
How did that happen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What can I source as this happened because? And especially considering even back then, this isn't me being like imposter syndrome. This is me being very genuine. Like, I knew I wasn't good I'm not good at being an influencer. I'm not. There are plenty of things I'm good at, like visible forward short form content is not one of my beats, at least for myself. I can be so goddamn good at it for other people, and I wish I could apply it to myself, but I'm not like, I genuinely, when I first started my business, was talking to my friends who had like robust, like popular girl Instagrams in our like friend community of like, wait, people like your post about Saturday. When do they like my post about Saturday? Genuinely though, I was genuinely like, why is this a thing? But then somehow
you landed a client from Instagram.
right? Like 1 + 1 = 7. I was very confused. And turns out some of it, I'm going to be God's honest truth, y'all. Some of it was kismet, early stage, early adopter. We're not playing the same game in 2016 as we are in 2026. It's not the same game. So please do not think I'm saying
go post on Instagram to land a client.
Please, no. Let me explicitly say, I do not think that will land you your first client or 3. But I was back then, am to this day, so damn good at specificity and emotional resonance. I am so good at creating those things and understanding what needs to be said or what visually needs to be communicated, what needs to be on screen for a video. It doesn't matter what medium we're talking about, podcast, written, reels, carousels, whatever. I am really good innately at communicating what someone needs in order to feel seen enough to lean in closer to your brand, safe enough to know, wait, okay, I might trust this person to give at least my email address, much less the dollars, and ready to buy. And that is something that from the get, I innately had, and now we've got a decade of experience. So I've got a lot more insight around what does it take, especially in 2026, where we've got hella people been burned, hella trust recession. We've got a lot of additional asterisks and competition and friction here. And so ultimately, when we think about reintroducing a new offer, when we think about getting your first clients, whatever, so much of this is going to come down to how well are you able to articulate what people need in order to know, to feel, to experience, to feel seen, safe, and ready to buy.
Yep. Yep. It is that Venn diagram. I tell this to clients all the time of what people need and want the result of and what you can provide. And if it's this result, we can, the marketing of that is a different conversation. If they're asking for this result, is that something you can provide? And the overlap of that is, okay, how do we productize that then? How can we make that sustainable? And I love that your first couple of clients came from Instagram, because you're going to be able to bring such this nuance of that visibility of strangers. Because what happens is my clients come to me, they're in SOS and they're like, okay, it's a pretty predictable like referral pipeline. Although a lot of them have also dried up their referral pipeline because they've started offering so many things that their clients and their network doesn't know how to refer them anymore. So we clean that up first. If that's you, don't worry, we can fix that. So we've cleaned all that up. Okay, we're going in on this container and this authority and this mechanism, whatever. But all right, you've got your 3 to 5 to 6 to 7 clients. That's typically about how many clients someone can handle before they come to me and they're like, if I get one more client, everything will break and I'll be working nights and weekends and this will be a job I don't want. I've done it before. I don't want to go back there again. And yet I want more revenue. And yet I want this business to impact more people. Both of those go hand in hand for service providers. I like my happy spot is someone who's like, fuck yeah, I want to make more money. And because when I know I'm making more money, I'm impacting really, really great people. Like those
Damn
things
straight.
can go hand in hand. And so they're coming to me and they're like, okay, but okay, we've buttoned up the referral system of the people who are referring you, but they've never, ever talked about their service online because they haven't had to. And they haven't had the capacity of being able to work with 10, 12, 18 clients. And so they don't know what it's like to talk to people who are not hot but warm and not warm but lukewarm, right? And at different points of the buyer journey. And so how have you looked at that? I mean, dare I say funnel and bring that conversation of what is historically a one-to-many space into the service provider internet space?
Yes. So I think the reason that I was innately good at this is that I always approached innately, and this is the skill that I now bring to the table, is that I always approached any one-to-many conversation as one-to-one,
Yes.
right? And so for me, that doesn't mean, right, it's easy for me to say, like, imagine your ideal customer and you have decided their name is Jane.
And
And
she's
Jane
37
has
years
this,
old.
right, and like Jane has, I'm going to describe, like Jane has roses on her desk because it is the day after Valentine's Day or whatever days after Valentine's Day. And that is something that she has. And there's a cat behind her back. And like, cool, cool, cool. Having a really articulate definition of Jane is like, can I be quite crass?
Please.
Okay. I'm not even asking about
I'd
swear.
be
This
mad if
is
you didn't.
okay. This is it is what my creative writing teachers have always called creative masturbation.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like getting ourselves off.
Yes.
And this is something that we get, God, I'm calling myself out on this. It is so easy to get ourselves off on, like, let me just paint out my ideal customer, paint out what the offer looks like, right? Like, and we spend all this goddamn time thinking about writing this character study of who the person is when you have no fucking idea how to apply the character study. I will say, part of what I do leverages, I'm an actor, I do acting for fun. I'm a writer, I'm a creative writer, I write novels. Like, I leverage those skills, I leverage those acting things, and I take those to help people or myself when I'm doing done for you. I leverage them to help actually understand the lived experience of our ideal customer.
Yes.
I do, but it's always rooted inside of not just Jane has roses on her desk. Why the fuck does it matter that Jane has roses on her desk in relation to the fact that I sell, I do PMS support. I sell a coaching package about healing your PMS. Why does Jane's roses on her desk matter there?
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I just saw this post too the other day on Threads of someone who word vomited out. They're like, oh, I have finally identified my ideal client avatar. She's this and she's this age and she lives here and she does it. And I'm literally reading it and I'm like, who the fuck cares? Like, if you're watching the video, you just got 2 middle fingers. Literally, who cares? How are you applying those elements and what do they matter to the person who is deciding that the result that they want is going to solve their problem and that the result that you can provide is the thing that's going to actually solve it?
And to ground it inside of, like, I will say, just to root myself into not being too much of a proper asshole, because I have also been the person who's like, I know who I'm
100%.
serving. I know now. Like, y'all, we get you.
Yes.
We've both been there. We've
Yes.
both been there. This isn't just about now it's easier for you to make money. And now it also makes your goddamn life easier.
Truly.
So much easier.
I recorded an episode for my other podcast with my friend Jess Ely. It's called Lazy Business Podcast if you haven't listened to it. And we were talking about, I was trying to verbalize the benefits that you can't necessarily see of the work that I've done with SOS in the past year, of choosing to do one offer, only selling one offer, going all in on it. It's my authority. I'm saying the same thing this way, that way, and this way, and that way, but it's the same thing. All roads lead to SOS. This is what I have. Buy it or don't. Here's what it is. Improving it, etc. And not only like the very surface level of like, well, my revenue has gone up. I've been able to serve more clients. My messaging is easier, but like, even messaging being easier has 10 tendrils of impacts of how that benefits my day-to-day life. When I tell you the decision fatigue, I like can't even, I have a harder time verbalizing the nuance of what has been impacted in my life and in my business since doing this. And it's why I'm so passionate about like, what is your fucking authority and how can we double down on that? You can have an offer ecosystem. You can have more than one container. I am never going to be the person that's like, you should only sell one thing forever. There might be an audit that goes into that container that then has a supporting retainer. That's my favorite structure.
We love a ladder.
We love a ladder. We love a ladder, right?
And so do the humans.
So do humans.
Who don't know
and
you yet. I don't want to pay you $2,000 a month ongoing.
Yes.
I don't know you, babe. I don't know you.
Exactly. And I love a graduate down. Like I just invested big to go deep. And now what is everyone else does the ladder that goes up forever. Right?
No,
where
it's
like,
go multiple
okay, you pay me 2K and then you pay me 10K and then you pay me 30K. And like, you just keep narrowing your bucket of who is that ideal client. That's a route for sure.
It's a route. It's a path.
It's a route. Ask me how I know I've done it.
There's a very cool founder who I just came across actually who's doing it very well. Very smart.
Right.
Yeah.
What I love is let's invest deeply and then let me serve you sustainably in a lower ticket, lower lift for both of us. Because our work one-on-one is intense. It's a year long and you got to commit some time to going through this and showing up and implementing the feedback. I was on a call today and I think this is critical for content too. This is why I'm bringing it up. So on a call today with someone who needed a little bit of just like reassurance that she was in the right spot at the right time. And I don't know if I need to implement this next or do this. And she's in the program. And so I was like, okay, let's take a deep breath. Here's what we're going to do. First of all, something I said in the call that I think I need to make an entire episode about. She was overwhelmed about the concept of she hasn't ran the particular container that she wants to run through SOS before, but she's been in business for years. She has worked with these clients. She knows her things, right? And I said, productization. So she said, literally, she goes, I feel like I started a year too early and I need more data. I need more data. I think I started early. And I said, productization is not the reward for having enough data. Productization is the vehicle in which you get the data. It's what you do with that information that actually makes the difference. And I said, so we had a conversation about, for example, and this doesn't apply to her, but for someone else, we had a conversation about removing these particular offers off of your proposal and your offer suite and your website because you didn't want to offer them anymore and you wanted to streamline your ecosystem. We talked about that. Did you go do it? Oh, no. Okay, so the work is you not just living in strategy land, but it's fucking implementing it as well.
I just wrote down. I want because I think you probably saw me freak out and be like, I must write this down immediately. I'm gonna throw out the idea that not only I wrote down you can, I'm gonna say possibly you should.
Mm-hmm.
You can possibly should start productizing when you're doing one-on-one. Like you
Yes.
should start with
Yes.
one-on-one.
Yes.
Because that's going to get you.
Yes.
Here's a thing I want like to tap into your insight on. I've always believed that the best way to develop, because so often I work with clients who are like, I want to do a group program. I'm doing one-on-one, but I want to do a group program. We want scale. Honestly, like everyone wants an easier life. We want, right? Like, yes, whether we want to scale to $100 trillion company or
Mm-hmm.
just make $500,000, whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we want ease. Every single time I've told people you need to start with one-on-one because that's how we develop IP, concepts, like we have obviously so much overlap in our brains.
Yes.
And one of the spaces that you kick my ass in, one of many, is this productizing and the notion, like, I know I always root back to data and I am creative. Like I am creative, right-brained much more so. I also do love math. I do sometimes love math for fun, so I don't even know. My brain's just a
Mm-hmm.
mess. But productizing, you're gonna get better data
Yes.
if from your one-on-one offer,
Yes.
you've been thinking about it using these frameworks, right?
Yes. 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 And it's the exact timeline that I walk people through who want the visual kind of representation of, okay, well, how long could SOS take to make a huge difference in my business? We can install the systems within 3 months. That's not the problem. But to reflect a full cycle of, oh, this is now the version of my business, I walk people through how SOS came to be. I started consulting in 2023, leaning into my authority, landed my first 3 clients within my own network. They referred me to people. That's how I replaced my 6-figure salary within 5 months. Okay, great. Boom, done. I noticed immediately because I'm excellent at spotting patterns and trends. Like I can do it better than anyone else. These are the questions that every single one of these founders is asking. And they think this is their solution, but what they actually want is this. And so if that's what they want, then how do I need to be advising them and strategizing, et cetera? So I started to spot, and I gave myself 18 months to notice the trends and what was similar and what was different and what I liked doing, what I didn't like doing, et cetera, so that my one-on-one service with every new client that got brought in was more refined and more refined and more refined and shaped, right? My kid has one of those rock tumblers. You put one of those raw rocks in and you turn it on and it runs for days and days and days. And it's so fucking loud. And at the end of eons, you get this beautifully polished rock, right? That is how I picture your one-on-one service. It is this
That is
jaggedy,
the best example of life. I'm sorry.
right?
There needs visual. I'm sorry. Whoever does Emily, who does your branding, there needs to be a visual representation of the rock
tumblers.
Yes. Yes.
And so you put in this jaggedy, a custom, bespoke, every client is different. It's 75 onboarding forms. This person gets 3 calls and this person gets 7 calls.
It cost me 400 hours a month, a week.
Literally.
I don't even know how I'm doing this work.
Exactly. And you put it through the productization rock tumbler, right? And you're not going to get a smooth rock overnight. It's not going to be like that in a couple hours. One chip might fall.
Be loud. It might feel stressy. It's going to be loud.
It's going to be loud. It's going to be loud and it's going to be overstimulating.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're going to want to put the rock tumbler in the garage like I have because it's so fucking loud. And you do the things that you need to do in the season, right? But with SOS, I went from exclusively year-long contracts. These are $40,000 to $50,000 projects, one-on-one, to okay, I think instead of just handling 3 people a year, I could handle 5 if it's in this productized way. And so I sold that at about $7,000 per project. And it took about 3 months to complete the thing, to install whatever I was doing. Okay, massively over delivered. This part felt unnecessary. This person didn't even need this thing over here. So remove, shave, tumble, 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 right? Refine, smooth. And then I rolled out another version that was SOS, that was 6 months. I think I actually started that one with 3. That one was also 3 months, but I massively removed a lot of scope and then I changed the price. So now it's $4.5K for 3 months. Refined again, did it for 6 months because I wanted to hang out with people for longer and made it $3,500. And then I massively refined again and was like, truly, this is now the final. No, I'm not even going to say final. This version of removing the done for you and truly making it done with you. So I'm going to lower the price a lot because it's going to take longer to get to that end result. I'm not installing it for you, right? And there has to be some autonomy here and some accountability here. But now we're also going to hang out for a year because I want the data and I want the information. And that is the current iteration that it is right now. And it's so funny. Every time I get to chat with someone who enrolls and they assume it's a group program and they come in and they're like, oh, there's actually 0 group element. This is an actual done with you container. What people call a done with you container is just a group program. The done with you part is their group calls. That's the only done with you part. That's not what this program is, literally at all.
And that's also, they're just lying.
They're just lying.
They're the ones distorting. Yeah, they're distorting what the notion is. Just for the record.
Yeah. So
call a spade in our industry.
I have some beef with that. Yeah. But truly, going from 2023 of working with 3 clients to 5 to 7 to 9 to 13, and as of today, because I closed a deal today, I have 19 active clients.
Stunning.
And it's just me.
Can we take a moment for everyone? 19 clients. Just like, forgive me for stepping slowly. I felt myself. I feel like I'm writing down notes. I felt myself slipping into interviewer mode.
Well, I mean, this is what happens too on the show.
I know. Can we all take a moment though? Like, because everyone listening is in the same boat as me, more so than you. Because honestly, I'm more in the capacity cap moment. I'm much more in the capacity cap moment. And so for all of us, can we just take a beat to imagine, like, just even in your own brain right now, play with your numbers of 19 clients by, even if, yes, we might drop your numbers a little bit, but like 19 times what do you charge right now?
What's your average client rate? Right. Exactly.
What's that look like?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And what do the hours look like? Do you have that data? If you don't, then you, like me, definitely need to be inside of SOS.
And
you don't have that data.
That's 19 SOS clients. I technically have 22 total clients because I have 3 consulting clients on top of that.
Stunning. So playing with these things, like, it's incredible. And I also, the other big thing, the other like big question note that I wrote down was, well, actually I wrote down too many things, but the big thing that I want to zoom in on is, like, you mentioned a couple of times throughout the different iterations of SOS, that several different times you were over delivering and overworking. And I feel like as service pros, I feel like I said this to you yesterday when we were talking, as service providers, over delivering tends to become a badge of honor. And it's a double-edged sword. It's a both and. Like, there is utility. It can be a strategic tool.
Yes.
And it can also be an Achilles
if you know that you're using it strategically, but most of us don't. And I have an email specifically in my launch campaign, and the subject line is "I'm pro over delivering," because service
providers.
Have you sent
that before? I feel like I've received.
Yes, I've sent it before.
I was going to say, I feel like
one
I've
of my
received
top
that email as soon as you. Yeah.
So I'm repurposing
I've received that email, and well done. I think I have it saved in my excellent emails.
Yeah.
I have an excellent emails folder where whenever I see people send good things, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. And the thing is I am pro over delivering. I love what I call a white glove experience. If we can create this white glove experience where your clients feel like you are always available, even if you're not. Like you're always communicating, even when you're not. Like you're always thinking about their product, their offer, their service, their container, even when you're not. I literally got this feedback. I was on a call with Taylor earlier today about threads. And she was like, just asking me a couple of questions for content. And I said, well, I just got off of a call and I have a client left me a voice note on Slack and I transcribed it. And it was him literally saying, I love, you're just always thinking about how to improve this particular piece of his project. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Literally
But I
not.
love
But
that it feels
yes.
that way. And I have the systems in place that make it seem like I am, not in a way that's lying, but in a way that's like, we just want to feel acknowledged and seen and heard. And it is those touch points that allow that white glove experience to happen of I'm thinking about something before you even think about it. I'm solving a problem before you even bring it to me. It is that way of showing up that I love to do. And I'm not able to do that if I'm creating my own hand-holding experience that my clients aren't even asking for, but I think that I have to handhold and custom make their onboarding form every time and custom make the email that sends them their proposal every time. If the longer you convince yourself that you have to do all of those bespoke, the further and further away from you allow yourself to be from providing a true white glove experience.
Yes. And that's what SOS does,
Yes.
is walk you through the entire
Yes.
process of creating this moment of, I love that you're thinking about my product all the time, and you being like, I literally just got back from a long weekend. I took 4
Exactly.
days off.
Yeah.
Sure didn't think about your name. Your name didn't even come into my brain. And
No,
not like we love
not in
our
a bad way.
clients.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, it makes your brain better because when you get to be out in your life and like,
Exactly.
wait, actually, when I was hiking, something about pine cones really resonates with this. And there's a connection. I don't know. That was where my brain
Exactly. Yeah.
pre-associated. I don't know. But there's apparently going to be a campaign about pine cones for one of my clients. We'll see from my
I
long
love it.
weekend.
Well, I'm gonna have a campaign about rock tumblers. So
Perfect. There we go.
okay,
Honestly,
well
though, you really should.
let's talk about campaigns and let's talk about visibility and let's talk about that. So when my people, like I said earlier, to catch us back up and rope us back into, there's a whole bonus coming for you guys. It's reactivation. We've productized the container. We have an increased capacity, which means we can serve more people, right? My clients typically go from they're serving 5 to 8 people at a time to they can serve 12 to 15 at a time, right? And that's just level 1. Like we have to serve 15 before we can serve 20, right? I had
'Cause
to
we need the
serve
data.
9 before I could serve 23, right?
Yes.
We're not skipping steps here. This is that builds upon. So I have a client right now who we actually both love, and she's in this position where she went from, okay, she can do about 5, 6 per month to okay, we productize and we simplify, then we remove things out of it to, okay, there's 10 or 12. And now we're looking at, okay, how can we increase your capacity even more? Well, with increased capacity, you say, all right, great. Just because I can serve 15, where are they going to fucking come from? I'm not getting 15 inquiries a month right now. I can't handle 15 sales calls. I can't insert whatever emergent situation is coming up for you right now. And so the system of that, right? We'll figure out an SOS, the sales call of that. But the visibility, the content, and where you're choosing to show up has to be effective because your capacity is still needing to be top of mind, even as you're introducing visibility.
Yes. And so this is where I honestly kind of feel like I stumbled into this. I don't even know. I didn't even plan. I didn't even plan to be good at this, y'all. Maybe just goodness gracious, I am naturally, which probably sounds very, I hope that doesn't sound as douchey as it does in my brain.
No, to own it.
I am so goddamn good at understanding what I like to say that I have too many mirror neurons. This is what it really comes out. I like to say that I have too many mirror neurons. I don't have neurological data to say this, but I have a lot of experience with folks on the autism spectrum who do tend to have more mirror neurons. And basically, mirror neurons, I didn't know this is where I was going, but we're going with it.
Do it.
Mirror neurons are the nerve cells in our brains that effectively create the experience of empathy. They are what you would imagine mirror. And so I think, a lot of mirror neurons that allow me to, whether I am looking at you or even thinking about you telling me about your client's ideal experience or your client's lived experience or about your offer promise. When you tell me something about, well, what I sell is blah, 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 my brain just very naturally starts to go into, okay. What's the person who needs that and doesn't have that experiencing right now? What are they feeling when they wake up on a Tuesday morning after Valentine's Day? Because if we're talking about that, or if we're talking about, okay, cool, actually, no, the campaign's going to be for June 15th because you've got goals to have everything sold out before your off time for the entire month of August. Cool. Like, I'm always thinking about the hybrid. And I think we always need to be thinking about the hybrid of your lived experience and your business desires and what's going on for the person you're selling to in real time. And if we think about this, we can see this mirrored in standard corporate marketing very, very, very easily, right? If you think about one of my like nerd name drop moments is that I used to do marketing for Pilot pens.
Love a Pilot.
Yeah. I do love a Pilot. They were my favorite pens before I worked for them, and then it's like, yep, you're still my favorite. Pilot pens obviously does back to school campaigns every year, right? Duh. This is a concept I call emotional scheduling, where we always want to think about what is the lived experience of my ideal person based on my goals right now. So we always start with my goals are, okay, cool. I want to sell out my offers for Q4. Fantastic. Back to school is related to my audience. But then Pilot doesn't just say, we have one back to school campaign. No, they say, we have different pens, we have different products. This is not relevant for everybody. If you don't, please don't have like 100 products. Please do not have G2s and friction. No, like that's not it. But I do want you to think about, let me see how Pilot, for example, sells their G2 pen and the positioning of what does a G2 pen do for you in back to school season versus a friction pen. A friction pen is an erasable pen that also has fun functionality. Again, forgive the Pilot nerd, used to work for them. It has fun functionality, so it's very, very smart to sell it to parents.
Yes.
G2 is for like professional.
Yeah.
You're going to sell it using different angles. And so this is part of how the more you understand the lived experience of your person, and this is the exact process that we're going to walk you through once you get to this phase of SOS, I am going to walk you through my process of identifying using everything you've already built inside of SOS with all of the frameworks. Then we're going to say, okay, cool. We've got the level 10 client. We've got this. This is the offer. Now, what's their lived experience based on? I'm selling this. I'm designing this campaign based on August, September, October 2026, or January, February, March 2020 into 2027, whatever. Whenever you're selling this, it's always going to be unique. It's always going to be different. I'm such a nerd for evergreen sales.
Yes.
Because once you understand how to speak to your person based on their lived experience now, evergreen sales becomes so much easier because there's natural urgency rooted in and natural angles and relevance rooted inside of today.
Yes.
So you don't have to fake a launch or whatever.
Yeah. I have this, and this is even getting me thinking about my own content and evergreen content for SOS. I had someone convert on her own yesterday. We've had conversations, of course, but we didn't have to have a sales call and then go into. She was part of my last launch. We emailed a couple times back and forth. I recorded a Loom video, and then she just decided to convert on her own yesterday. And she's not the first person who meets this qualification. So now I'm like, is there a track next year that I should market to? She waited to join SOS the same month that she's graduating with her marketing MBA. What? Ma'am. So are we talking, so we're going into a high-level consultant. How can we package her offer? She knows shit. She hasn't done it, but she has the expertise and she has a network.
Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm sweating. Okay.
I know, right? How incredible. How incredible. There's other people who, I can think of a
Also,
client.
you need to be talking at, the university partnerships. That my brain is just, sorry,
There's
I'm
a
not,
whole
my
thing.
brain is going into, I kicked my desk.
There's
my
a
brain is
whole
like,
thing.
whew. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm not going to derail us.
There's also like me knowing, okay, my clients tend to be system strategists, but who are their clients? Okay, they're photographers or they're designers, but who are their clients? Because service providers equals people pleasers more often than not. Like we all know this. And so we tend to kind of mold our own schedule
I've never
and
pleased a
needs.
person in my life.
Yeah. We tend to mold our own schedule and needs around our clients' identities, right? And so, like, I have a client who's a system strategist that she works a lot with photographers. Okay, those photographers, well, if they're wedding professionals, they're about to be really fucking busy. And so her angle can be, let's get your system set up before wedding, right? Maybe she has to prep for quote unquote downtime during wedding seasons. Okay, that's her implementation to set up her next campaign, her content, her behind the scenes, whatever, because our businesses, we can't be marketing all of it. Like, oh, pause. We're marketing all the time. We can't be launching all the time. And so there are nuances to that, right? And so I'm seeing now the tracks of the content of visibility that could be custom depending on who's enrolling.
Exactly. And it's also once things are productized and you've got more data and you can start to see these patterns, because just to anyone who's feeling like, what the hell are you talking about? Sounds really cool. I don't see these patterns. For one, work with them.
Yeah, I will see it. I'll see it.
For one, she'll see it. But even if you're trying to DIY it and you see some of the patterns, or if you don't yet, these patterns come as a result either of working with someone who naturally is good at it or a result of data.
Yes.
Like, you need to be able to productize.
Yes.
Initially, you have to have the initial element of productizing so that your delivery is not hella bespoke.
Yes.
Because that, to the point that you can't be like, well, I don't actually know what metrics we tracked, but like, it was good. It was good. They liked it. They really did like working with me. And then you put that on your testimonial side of like, it was good to work with me. And everyone is
2
like,
thumbs up. Yeah.
signed the 1990s. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
No one gives a rat's ass. Sorry. Sorry. I'm not even sorry. I'm actually, you're welcome, because
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So we need this degree of data in order to even be able to make informed marketing decisions. And this is where it becomes such a gorgeous infinity circuit of, once you have enough system, enough product, my brain and mouth.
It's a tough word.
Productization.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Once we have enough of that, then I'm just saying that. Once we have enough of that, then we have enough data and we're starting to build enough data. We're getting enough data long term. That data then turns into, okay, cool. When I talk about X, then that actually drives tremendous amount of email list signups. So that doesn't immediately drive sales, but that is going to inform, I'm going to start doing this kind of content 6 weeks before my next webinar.
Yep.
That's going to be in my slow campaign in my slower season where I'm trying to build, right? And I'm just making this up, but this is where we can start to have, honestly, the kind of marketing that all of the decision fatigue of, what should I be focusing on right now? Should I be selling? Should I be not? What should I be talking about? I know I should be marketing. I know I should be talking on the internet all the time.
Yep. Well, and then so the gut is like, hey, I have 3 spots open for web design if you want it. Hey, I'm booked out for Q1. If you want to get on Q2, you should do it. Okay.
And that's, I mean, it is an option.
Uh-huh.
It's an option.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be competitive. It's not, well, it might be competitive. I don't know. It's not going to position you as different
Right.
from your competitors.
Right.
And it is also not going to be brand and authority building. And it's not going to be audience building. This is the thing. When you are designing all of your sales campaigns rooted inside of the strategy of resonance, we want sales, yes, but we're always rooted inside of resonance. When you're doing that, we don't end up having to choose between my goal is sales and my goal is audience growth. We don't have to choose between our favorite results when we're locked into the strategy of resonance. And so that's why we decided on the bonus we decided on of I'm going to map your resonance campaign with you.
Yeah. I'm so excited for you guys to get your hands on this because everything that we're talking about here, I could have, okay, you get to mod 7 and I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do a training. I'll do a chat. I can talk you guys through these things. I don't have all the frameworks built for this because I don't have a copywriting business. I don't have the sales strategy content business that Chelsea has. And so why am I going to reinvent the wheel, right? I want to root this in productization. Now that you have open capacity, you're ready for visibility, let's create the content game plan with someone who's an expert. And then let's plug that into a productized system within your business so you can show up in the channels that you want to low lift. You can, literally, your content is productized. Like, I want to productize all of the elements of your business. That is what I want to get feedback on. And so what's cool just for the logistics of this all is when you guys get to mod 6, you're going to have your offer productized, the scope and deliverables and the assets will be refined. The client experience will be mapped out and implemented on your behalf. So systems designed, triggers set up, etc. You're going to already have reactivated your past or current clients who could roll into this new refined container. Do we need to update scope? Do we need to raise prices? Do we need to update contracts? Do we need to let go of some legacy clients that aren't helping us move forward to the next phase, right? Okay, we do all of that because I love, I call that hidden revenue because it's in your business right now. It's not from a new lead. So let's get some hidden revenue. Let's build some cash flow. And then we reintroduce your offer. Okay, now we're going to platforms that maybe you've wanted to have the time and attention to do, but didn't have the strategy or the energy. You didn't have the creative direction, really. So maybe you want to start that podcast or start writing a blog or emailing your list or whatever that looks like, growing the list, right? And then maybe you also want to show up on Threads or LinkedIn. A lot of my clients show up on LinkedIn because they're
incredible,
right? They're consultants and they're helping high level people. So that's where they want to show up. But every single time they come to me and they're like, okay, I want to do that, but I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say because these are smart women who know that if they say the right thing, they can make the sale. If they say the wrong thing, it's going to be a waste of everyone's time. And so they're not wanting to implement the strategy until it's like, just tell me what to post and I'll post it. Create the strategy for me, I'll do it. So, okay.
Good news. We answered, yeah, heard.
Great. We'll do that for you.
We'll do it.
So you get to the point, you submit, etc. There's some logistics behind the scenes, but ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to go through Chelsea's framework of being able to create your 90-day content plan. And then you get to submit that to Chelsea. And then she's going to chat with you like a service provider, one-on-one. And what are you guys going to cover in that call?
We are going to make sure that the job of each marketing platform is so clear. So if you're on LinkedIn and you're on email and you're on Threads and whatever, I'm going to make sure that you are so clear on the job of each platform so that your CTAs are hella clear. And when you're creating content, when you are, however you're creating content, it is going to be so easy to figure out what does someone need to do after they experience this piece of LinkedIn content versus this piece of Threads content, etc. That's also usually when I have those conversations, usually we realize, oh, I was maybe trying to do too much and I was going to make my life real hard. And then we realize, okay, we don't need 18 top of funnel platforms. Cool. Great. Which one? LinkedIn? Fantastic. great. When you are thrilled to be posting over there and your team can do it, whatever, love it. Run with it. When it is easy as pie that you literally won't even remember that it's happening.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Let's get
Done.
you getting leads from those other platforms.
When you start getting sales calls booked and you're like, where did these come from?
Exactly. And you see in your form, like, wait, I'm on that platform. Literally,
Yeah.
what even is that platform? Fantastic. Right. That's the degree of removed we want you to be. But I want to make sure that we have these initial 3 platforms where there is a sales-driven platform. It's probably going to be your email list, but I'm not going to die on that hill. But I want there to be a sales-driven platform, a bingeable authority-related platform where your authority anchor is going to be deeply present. So you're going to be inside of this, just to be clear, you're already going to be plugging in everything that you've already done inside of SOS
you'll have
into this thing. It's already going to be, you will already have done it. You're just dropping it in so that I can then run it through and we can create the plan for you. And then we need your, initial top of funnel visibility platform. So we're going to make sure that those 3 channels are the right channels and that we're not trying to do too much, and that each of them has the correct job description so that when you are creating or working with us ongoing, you are so clear on the CTAs and the jobs of each of those platforms. Then we are going to run through all of the different topics and the correct sequencing of what you need to be talking about when on each of those platforms based on each of their job descriptions.
Yep.
During this initial reintroduction campaign so that you can give your new offer its due.
Yeah, it's truly launching your offer, even if it's old, even if it's been around. We've positioned it, we've tightened it, we know exactly how many new leads we're looking for and your conversion rate and the expected results. Like for every single person who comes to me and is just like, I just want to be able to know when I pull this lever, this is what's going to happen. Exactly. This is that coming to life. Yes. Productization has to happen first, and then we can pull the visibility lever of saying, okay, great, I'm after 10 new leads. How am I going to get there? What do we need to do? Because guess what? The service provider one-on-one world, because we've stayed in service, because service work is sustainable. Okay. Because that is true, you don't need 1,000 leads a month. You don't need to be chasing 1% conversions.
You don't even have to launch, dude.
No.
You don't have to officially launch. I have 4 different urgency levers that we'll install inside of, we will install the correct urgency levers based on your season, where you're at, all the different things. We will install the correct urgency levers.
And then for those of you so you're going to get 90 days, right? You're going to get the plan. Chelsea's going to review it in that call. You guys are going to nail it down and perfect it. And then submit it back to me as your completed homework milestone for that section. And then we have like a lead pipeline tracker after that, which is really cool because you're going to track the leads that come in from the content and what sources it come from and all the data.
You can see where it's going.
Yes. Exactly. And so after that, it's a system that you can use and run on your own fully. If you want support creating the next quarter of content, and the next quarter of content, and then measuring the performance of that content, as in, is your capacity still in alignment with the leads that are coming in? Do we need to kind of slow down some sales and just establish some authority for a little bit so that we can hire someone and increase that capacity or refine even more? What are the levers that we need to be pulling, right? That's where Chelsea and I are available ongoing in retainer format. Truly for more done-for-you implementation, content posting, creating, writing, scheduling, metric building, all of it. This is available only for SOS alums. So if that's not you, you need SOS first. We're not even going to have that discussion yet because you're not ready. And that's fine. And so there are options. And I cannot wait to refresh LinkedIn or my email or threads and start seeing these SOS peeps show up and talking about their offer consistently in a way that's specifically designed for that program so that it actually gives them the result that we're both after.
Yes, 100%. And I will say, you just said people have options. They do. And the option is basically SOS or not.
100%. That is the option.
You have an option. Yep. But if you are a service provider who has their capacity. I mean, I am speaking to myself over the last decade and so many of the people that I have worked with and for. This kind of container and curriculum is just, I mean, I don't even have effective words, and that is rare for me because I am a word nerd. This is the work. It really is. I'm like, I can't believe that I don't have words. This is the work that, the life that you have in your brain around, I just wish I could do this. And once I get my business to this, so that I can then that, da 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 da. Like that life that you have in your brain, mine for me, mine for me, I'm a like New York or nowhere kind of human. I need to be able to buy in New York City. That's a big chunk of change, y'all.
Yeah.
A big chunk of change.
Yeah.
I need in my life to be able to buy in New York City and still be able to travel.
Yeah.
And so that life is not the number of hours in my week that are available for me to do good work. Even if I was working 60 hours a week, even if I could do 60 hours a week of good work, that's not a life I want to live. Inside of, yes, I want to own in New York. Like those kind of interplays though, right? These are the kind of interplays that I think so many of us do in our brain, but never say out loud, which is why I'm saying them out loud, even though it feels a little vulnerable to be like, hi, I just told you about my dreams. Internet. When we say those things out loud, like it lets us realize, okay, cool. I need to find a different way. This is what productizing, I wish honestly that you had been, maybe you were doing it back in 2018 when I first started popping.
Nope.
I don't think you were. When I first started scaling and realizing I don't want to scale the traditional way, SOS didn't exist. And so I just kind of went quiet and kept myself small intentionally because I didn't want to lose the degree of customization and the intimacy with my clients. So I kept myself small for like almost a decade, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way.
No, it doesn't. And the amount of, I was looking at onboarding form responses today for Copy Inspo, and I asked on my onboarding form, so these are people who are already enrolled in SOS, I said, what is your biggest fear when it comes to productization? And nearly every single one has said to some degree, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose the bespoke custom feel of my work and the intimacy I have with my clients, and that I will get bored selling this thing. And so that could be an entire episode of like, yeah, a business that is sustainable and scalable and makes you really good money and provides good impacts can be boring. That
You might get bored.
go get your dopamine.
But
hit.
I will say, I do have my emotional scheduling concept is entirely rooted inside of how to never get bored selling the same
Well,
offer
and
over
I
and
don't
over
find
again.
it boring. I love this
Exactly.
work,
It's the
right?
entire thing. It's like,
Right. And to
we've
me,
got the
it's
strategy for y'all. We've got the
yeah,
strategy. Just come hang.
exactly. To me, it's go get your dopamine hit from somewhere else, not your business.
It's literally the exact, of course we say the same thing. Of course we say the same
So,
thing.
baby girl, go start crocheting. I don't make
Let me show you my watercolor collection.
Please.
And I'm learning needlepoint.
Yes.
Needlepoint, like having samplers, like a proper, like a woman from the frickin', I actually have something from one of my ancestors from the 1800s. I have a sampler that I'm like imitating from one of my ancestors from the 1800s.
I love that so much.
Yes.
I love this so much.
Those are my dopamine hits.
Have that instead, and let your business be the boring, sustainable thing. And hang out with really cool, fucking fun people who are doing incredible work and who I will staunchly defend one-on-one service work, and service work being scalable,
Till the day I
and
die.
service work being the absolute missing ingredient as this world continues to evolve and the economy changes and AI changes and technology changes. If you care about humans still and are in service work, finding a way to serve them in a more sustainable way for you and them is the right choice. And so I would love to invite you to join us inside of Sold Out Services. You can head to soldoutservices.com/enroll. Doors are open right now. The bonus is available, like I said, to every single person that enrolls by, I think it's 9 p.m. Central on March 19th. If you head to the sales page, or when you head to the sales page, there's a section on there where you're going to see my face pop up in a little video, and you can engage with that. So you can book a one-on-one call directly with me. You can leave a video response asking me a question, or you can type or just do audio. So truly, however you want to show up, you can ask your question, give your thought, add your nuance, and I will reply in the same fashion. So if you record me a video, I'll record you a video back. If I need to ping Chelsea for a clarifying question, I'll get that from her and plug it in there as well. Interact with that and engage and ask questions. If you registered for the webinar, go watch it. It's great. It's there. It's good stuff. We dig into your authority anchor about, there's a really cool like visual exercise that we do where there's like specific sections of the authority that I'm like, okay, this right here means these shit tons of content ideas. This part right here means that you can talk about this. So when your authority anchor fits that, which we'll design together inside of SOS, then that helps then inform the visibility strategy. Okay. I'm so excited. I can't wait to dig in with you all. Chelsea, thank you so much for being here today and saying yes to my wild idea a week ago.
Always. I mean, not even. I think not even. Yeah, I think this is but it's kismet when things line up, and this is just such an excellent opportunity to help some of the most talented, skilled service providers whose work needs to be more out there, more at scale, and without the compromise, of traditional notions of what scale means. It's just, it was too good of an opportunity to pass up.
Well, I'm so thankful for you to be here and for you to give your brain to these folks who decide to dive in with us. And I truly don't know that, guys, the elements of bringing this bonus back or introducing it. And I don't know. We are truly testing this cohort. And so it may or may not come back. I want it to, but I don't know the capacity.
We got to test it, y'all.
We've got to test it. We're doing our own testing, right? And so if you are interested in the 90-day content strategy that's really rooted in meeting your audience where they're at, showing up on the right platform with the right job description of that platform, and increasing the conversions of not just referrals.
Every single platform, yeah.
Of every single platform, exactly. Then you definitely need to snag this bonus. So soldoutservices.com/enroll. Hey, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Sell the Damn Service. I'm really honored that you spent however many minutes you just did with me. Now, if you could go do me a very quick favor and be sure to like, subscribe, leave a rating and a review for this podcast over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or, pick your favorite platform. I'm not going to be that choosy. It truly means the world to me. It's how little tiny shows that are like mine, that are self-funded and, being edited in between dinner time and school pickup, it helps us get seen. It's free for you to do and takes just a couple of minutes. And I would love you forever if I could send you an edible arrangement as a big thank you. I would. So instead, consider this giant thank you directed just at you for going to do that. And share this episode or this podcast with a friend who needs to hear it. I love ranting and raving about service-based business strategies. And, I think more people should listen to this show, honestly. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really, really, really am grateful that you're here, and we will chat very soon.